It is not always easy for a leopard to find prey, especially when there is drought or a lack of prey. The search for food becomes more dangerous. That's exactly the situation this leopard is in. Hunger drove him to unfamiliar places. In the distance, he smelled something sweet, honey. But what he didn't realize was that it would lead him to a fatal mistake. The leopard panicked. In agony, it fled deeper into the forest, but the bees were not about to let it go. His body was covered with countless stings, his eyes were swollen, his breathing was labored. Finally, he jumped into the water and got rid of the bees. But the nightmare was just beginning. As the hours passed, the sting sites became inflamed. Weakened by hunger and exhaustion, the leopard was unable to clean itself. Over the days, its open wounds attracted flies, and the flies laid their eggs on its body. Within a few days, maggots began to fill his wounds. These creatures crawled under his skin and ate him from the inside. The poor leopard was almost unable to move due to the pain of the bee stings and the debilitating effects of the maggots that had infested his body. He tried to hide his weakened body deep in the forest, but nature was preparing to deal him another blow. As night fell, a pack of ravenous hyenas picked up his scent and quickly pursued him. The hyenas approached with flashing eyes and sharp teeth, emboldened when they realized how defenseless their prey was. The leopard tried to escape with its last strength, but the wounds on its body caused it pain with every movement. As the hyenas surrounded it, the chances of escape became less and less, and the desperation grew. The poor leopard grew weaker and weaker every day. The pain from the bee stings, the infected wounds, and the maggots that infested his body were slowly consuming him. It was difficult to breathe, let alone walk. Without the strength to hunt, he starved for days, and thirst weakened his body even more. His feathers began to fall out and his skin rotted. Deep in the forest, taking refuge in the shade of a tree, he waited for his last moments. His eyes were half closed, his mind clouded. Nature was teaching him a cruel lesson, and his chances of survival were almost nil. But just when all seemed lost, an unexpected miracle happened. A group of rescuers searching nearby spotted the leopard lying motionless on the ground. At first they thought it was dead, but when they saw that it was breathing, they quickly sprang into action. They immediately gave him water and prepared a transport stretcher. The unconscious leopard was taken to a private center for treatment. In operations that lasted for hours, the maggots that had spread throughout its body were removed one by one. Her open wounds were carefully disinfected, and she was given powerful drugs to fight infections. Her weakened body was strengthened with fluids and nutrients. For the first few days, it was uncertain whether he would even survive. But gradually, this powerful creature, resisting the cruel blows of nature, began to cling to life. Days later, the leopard's eyes began to shine again. Gradually, he stood up and started eating again. Day by day, he regained his strength and couldn't wait to go back into the wild. And finally, the day came. The cage doors opened. The leopard hesitated at first, then, looking back one last time, dived into the depths of the forest. Now he was free. This event has once again demonstrated that nature is both cruel and full of miracles. Life sometimes comes at us with all its power at unexpected moments, and we question how prepared we are for it. The helplessness of the leopard at that moment reminds us of the power of nature, and that everything has its limits. But at the same time, the struggle to survive after every loss is a miracle. Life, with its pains and difficulties, shows its value. Perhaps the leopard has learned a lesson from this incident. Every fall brings a new rise. Perhaps the only way to survive is to stand firm in the face of adversity. Do you think the leopard learned a lesson from this experience? Does every pain eventually turn into a miracle? Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think this case illustrates?